Well, it's the same thing I was doing those days. My teacher was a woman named Ella Baker. And she used to, when she came to us, she brought us together. And when she came to us, she said, you know, y'all demonstrating, y'all doing freedom rides. So she said, y'all would be doing, y'all doing a good job. Y'all sitting in at lunch counters and going to jail and serving time, and you're on the news every day and all these things. She said, but you know, a movement been going on in this country for a long time. So I want you to meet some of those people first. So maybe you're doing good, but they might have another agenda that you should know about since y'all interested in justice. And a few of us got interested, and she said, what's the worst state for black people in this United States? And a unanimous agreement went up, Mississippi. So she gave us some names and addresses of some people in Mississippi she wanted us to go talk to. And about 3 people volunteered to do that investigation. And they went to a man named Amzie Moore. And he said, and she gave them a narrative of what to say. Say, you with this student organization that's doing the freedom rides, that's doing the sit-ins, that's doing all this hell raising, but y'all want to figure out what they want, and you want to help them do what they want to do. And that'll be a way you can support the movement that was here way before you was born. So Mr. Moore says, look, that old Packer sitting out here, here's the key, and here's $10, put some gas in it, and go to Money, Mississippi, and knock on every door you can get to till you get tired. And write down what the people say. Give them the same narrative you gave me. So we went and did it all vigorously. Brought it back, and we ready to go. He said, no, you're going to another town tomorrow. He did this for a week. And we tallied those responses, and the people said, yeah, it's all nice that y'all integrating lunch counters, but we want the right to vote. So the right to vote became the premier program for our organization. Now, in the midst of that, we were going to people because they had a literacy test, and you had to read and write to pass the test. So we were catering to teachers and professors and professional people because they could read and write. But they wouldn't go to the courthouse. They was too scared they're going to lose their job and stuff. So we go back to Miss Baker. She said, you always start with the worst off. Who is the worst off in Mississippi? We look at each other. She said, go read if you don't know. She said, with some people that never got out of slavery and they still on the plantation. So go visit them and see what they said. We went and visited them. They were ready to go to the courthouse and register to vote, but they couldn't read and write. So we had to learn how to teach literacy. My point is, if you look at those old footages of Martin Luther King and anybody else doing marches, you'll see a front line of intelligentsia-looking people and professional-looking people, and the whole march is just ragtag black folks. That's who stepped up. And so right now, we came here because we saw these numbers. We saw that we were dying faster than everybody else in the country. And we started figuring out who was the bottom. And this was before we knew about the virus. And I met Cole and I said, you know, why don't some entertainers come under the bridge and deal with the homeless? She was right on it. We go down there and sing and dance and talk. Next week, we got the virus. So we already in the door, so we kept going. But we acted a fool and started trying to invite the activist community. No one would show up. And I went to sleep, and Miss Baker got to me in my dream and said, boy, you know you're supposed to go to the bottom. So we went to the homeless. The moment we went to the homeless, we had a crowd.